Yeah, sorry for a little bit trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second day of ICETECH 2022. In this session, we have a parallel presentation. And of course, in this room, we have 13 work or paper. And then before we begin, I think I will introduce myself. My name is Lingga Nico Pradana as your moderator today. And in this parallel session, the author or presenter are free to choose either live presentation or using prepared video. I have several notes before we begin the presentation. Today's section is being recorded to be available for viewing post-conference. If you have a question to the presenter, you may raise hand and turn on your microphone. Or you can use the chat room and I will read your question. Each presenter will have a total of 10 minutes for their presentation. Okay, if one of our presenters complete their presentation before the 10 minutes is up, there's maybe a time for a question from attendance. However, we will hold most questions until the end of the session, and I will then read questions aloud for the presenter to answer as time permits. Okay, now I think we will begin our parallel session, and the first presenter is Severino G. Alvento and Ramil Tibatin, entitled The Internet Connectivity in the Second District of Ilocos Sur. So I think Dr. Batin already here. Hello.
Yes, sir. We are here already, sir.
Okay.
Good
Do you
morning.
Okay. Mr.
Yes, sir.
Batin?
We emailed. Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's very clear now. Now it's very clear.
Oh, yes, sir. Actually, we emailed the presentation, the video presentation. So we thought that the host will just play the presentation, sir.
Yes. Okay. So you prefer to use prepare video presentation, and I will play it for you. It's just to make sure that you hear for us.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Now I will share my screen to play Mr. Batin presentation. Okay.
Good day to each and everyone. I'm Maribel Manzano Gagto from North Luzon, Philippine State College. Our study is all about traditional justice system, the language of discipline of the indigenous people. Hello, sir. Good morning. Sa katarungang pambarangay as provided under RA number 7160 aims to settle disputes amicably at the lower level with the intention that the courts will be relieved of congestion, enhancing the quality of justice dispensed by them. On the other hand, the 1987 Philippine Constitution is stated.
Yes,
sir.
Yes.
Sir, that's my study. That's not the study of Sir Ramil Batin.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, I think I will share the video from the form first. So, Mr. Batin, could you help me? The file name. Please you tell me the file name of your presentation, because the committee just give me the all of video in this this folder for room I.
Yes, sir. I'll going to help you, sir.
Yes.
Actually the file name of that one is the internet connectivity in the second district of Ilocos Sur.
Okay. Maybe it's lost to another folder because in this folder doesn't exist. Maybe it's lost.
Yes, I think, sir. I think so, sir, that it was not included here.
Yeah. Oh, I think we found it, sir. This is your video. Okay. It is correct? Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will play the presentation from Mr. Batin and of course Mr. Alfian too, entitled The Internet Connectivity in the Second District of Ilocos Sur.
Pleasant day to each and every one of us. Our study is entitled The Internet Connectivity in the Second District of Ilocos Sur. Authors, Severino G. Albiento and yours truly, Ramilti, Batin. For the information of the body, Ilocos Sur is divided into two districts, District 1 and District 2. District 2 is comprises of one city and two municipalities. City of Candon is the only city in the second district where NLPSC lies. We conducted this study because of flexible learning brought by COVID-19 pandemic. Since soft copy of modules will be given to our stakeholders through internet, it's very important to study internet connectivity because majority of our students are from second district of Ilocos Sur. The statement of the problems. This study aimed to find out the internet connectivity in the second district of Ilocos Sur. Specifically, it sought to find an answer to the following questions. Number 1, what are the existing internet service provider, ISP, in the second district of Ilocos Sur? Number 2, what is the status of internet connection in terms of letter A, bandwidth, letter B, ICT equipment? Number 3, what are the initiatives of the LGU in upgrading their current internet connections? Methodology. We have our research design. The descriptive and analytic method of research was used in this study, wherein a guided questionnaire and interview as the major instrument in the gathering of data. Research instrument. The researchers formulated questionnaire, a structured interview, which aimed at eliciting information from the respondents. Respondent of the study. The respondents of this study were the LGU officials, head, and staff of IT department in the second district of Ilocos Sur. Findings of the study. The internet provider ISP in the second district of Ilocos Sur. We have the first column, the city or municipalities, and the second column are the internet service provider or ISP. For Sugpon, ISP is Globe. For Alilem and Tagudin, we have Globe and Smart. For municipalities of Santa Cruz, Santa Lucia, Candon City, and Galimuyod, we have their internet service provider Globe, Smart, Converge for selected barangays. For the municipality of Salcedo, Globe and Smart. For Quirino, we have Smart. For Gregorio del Pilar, we have Globe and Smart. And for Sigay, we have Globe. Cervantes, we have Globe and Smart. Santiago, San Esteban, Banayoyo, we have Globe, Smart, and Converge. For Lidlida, we have Globe and Smart. For San Emilio and Santa Maria, we have Globe, Smart, and Converge for selected barangay. For Burgos, we have Globe and Smart. For municipality of Narbacan and Santa, we have Globe, Smart, and Converge for selected barangays. The status of internet connection in terms of bandwidth. We have the municipalities with 1 to 2 Mbps or megabits per seconds. We have here Sigay, Sugpon, Gregorio del Pilar, Quirino, Alilem, Cervantes, Salcedo, Suyo, Lidlida, San Emilio, and Nagbukel. We have also here the status of internet connection whose speed is more than 1 to 2 megabits per second. We have Tagudin, Santa Cruz, Santa Lucia, Candon City, Galimuyod, Santiago, San Esteban, Santa Maria, Burgos, Narbacan, Santa, and Banayoyo. The ICT equipment are smartphones and laptop computers. These are the initiative of LGU in upgrading their current internet connectivity. All of the respondent mentions that they have continuing program to upgrade their respective LGUs. They are continuously talking with the provincial and some private companies on how to improve their internet connections so as to provide more efficient public service. We have here the findings. 7 LGU in the 2nd District of Ilocos Sur are using Globe Smart as their internet providers. 12 LGU are using Globe, Smart, and Converge for their internet providers. 2 municipalities are using Globe, and 1 is using Smart provider. Conclusion, most of the internet providers in the LGUs are Globe, Smart, and Converge. Majority of the municipalities in the 2nd District of Ilocos Sur have internet connection and enjoy a bandwidth with an average around 1 to 2 Mbps. Smartphones and laptop computers are used as their gadget, and LGU are continuously talking with the provincial and some private companies on how to improve their internet connections so as to provide more efficient public service. Recommendations: provision of broadbands for residents, especially the students in the LGU of Ilocos Sur, provision of laptop or other gadgets for learning in every barangay for students, provision of free Wi-Fi hotspot to certain places, and upgrade of internet connectivity to every city or municipality in the 2nd District of Ilocos Sur. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Batin. I think that was a massive information for us according to the internet connectivity. Okay, maybe any question to Mr. Batin according to the presentation or the information according to the topic. Okay. None? Okay. So, Mr. Batin, according to your finding, what is your next project or next research?
To the findings, sir, we will go back to the municipalities as well as the cities so that we will discuss with the different leaders of these places to upgrade their internet. That's all, sir.
Yes, I think it will involve so many stakeholders there, and I hope you will be success to your project, with your project. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now we move on to the second presenter. Okay. We have Miss Kapto and Dalbisen and Alfiento, entitled "Traditional Justice System: The Language of Discipline of the Indigenous People in Narcavan, Philippines." So I think Miss Kapto here with us. So good morning, Mr. Kapto. Miss
Hello,
Kapto.
good morning, sir. So I prefer to please play my video, sir, the recorded one.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will play Miss Kapto video presentation.
is dispensed by them. Good day to each and everyone. I'm Maribel Manzano Gagto from North Luzon, Philippines State College. Our study is all about traditional justice system, the language of discipline of the indigenous people. The Katarungang Pambarangay as provided under RA number 7160 aims to settle disputes amicably at the lower level. So the intention that courts will be relieved of congestion, enhancing the quality of justice dispensed by them. On the other hand, the 1987 Philippine Constitution states that cultural communities have the right to use their own commonly accepted judicial system, conflict resolution processes that are compatible to the legal system of the country. Lipit justice system is a traditional methods resolving conflicts and disputes within the barangay, particularly the imposition of discipline and penalizing people committing theft, adultery, abuse and violence, causing undesirable noise through drunkenness. According to the respondents, the DAPI symbolizes peace, unity, and discipline in their community. It is an effective means of settling disputes and resolving conflicts. Even the young people, though their way of living are already influenced by the Western culture and modernization, the people in Sarmingan continued the observance of their culture and tradition. People die in Sarmingan, but their culture lives through generation according to them. This study aimed to learn the methods used in the application of Lipit, the traditional justice system of Barangay Sarmingan, Narbacan, Ilocos Sur. The objective tried to respond to the queries made by the researchers. First, to identify the procedures before the application of Lipit to an individual. Second, to describe the terms used in Lipit justice system, specifically A. Lipit, B. Paglipitan or Pagbaludan, C. Panglakayen, D. Dapay or Abong, E. Multa, and F. Indigenous Peoples Officer. Third, to determine the impact of Lipit justice system to the culture and identity of the people in the community. And last, to distinguish the methods applied by the people in Sarmingan in influencing the younger generations in preserving their identity and culture, especially in upholding the Lipit justice system. This study used the qualitative methods of research design and the Filipino Indigenous Method or FIM. This refers to the various approaches used in generating research data. These methods are based on Filipino culture and conducted in the Philippine setting. In applying the indigenous method, you have to take a cross-indigenous perspective in order to better understand the culture being studied. In analyzing the data, we use cultural relativism theory. It aims to understand a culture on its own terms and not to make judgments using the standards of one's own culture, and to promote understanding of cultural practices that are not typically part of one's own culture. In data gathering instrument, we use obtrusive method proposed scale by Enriquez, namely pagkikipagkwentuhan or chatting, pakikinig or listening, and lastly, pagtatanong or asking question. As for the local and population of the study, Barangay Sarmingan is one of the 34th barangays of Narvacan situated in the borderline of Ilocos Sur and Mountain Province, the only upland barangay in the municipality. They call themselves Kankanaoy, who its ancestors' origins was in Mountain Province. 11 residents serves as the researchers' respondents in the gathering of data regarding the Lipit justice system. In the first statement of the problem, we came up with the 6 themes, namely complainants, an inquiry or an investigation against the respondents, only commence when the victims formally files a complaint to the barangay officials. Letter B, investigation. The officers and other members of the jury need to possess the wisdom and right understanding to resolve cases with fair and impartial trial. C, Proven guilty may be punished or disciplined with lipid. The punishment to the person depends on how heavy the offense is. Letter D, cases brought to the Philippine National Police. Not all cases are settled by the barangay officials and panglakayan. Terrible crimes are voluntarily succumbed to the police because they believe that lipid is not enough as punishment to the crime or violation. Fifth themes, freedom of the offender. A person who is proven guilty of a crime and punished with lipid must be to show regret of his action and to correct the commission of his mistakes. And last, repentance or remorse. Before the awarding the freedom of the offender, he must show regret and repentance. So we recommend that barangay officials must continue learning about traditional laws and its application so as to uphold the process of the traditional justice system and be a model to the next generation of the indigenous people. In the second statement of the problem, the language use meanings and objectives in the performance of the lipid justice systems, which symbolizes their culture and identity, we came up with 5 themes. First, panglakayan or elder. Next, lipit or pinch. 3, paglipitan or pagbaludan or wooden jail. And 4, multa or financial obligation. And dapay or abong or barangay hall. So we recommend that it is of great importance that parents in Sarmingan should continue to educate their children about the language of discipline of the lipid justice system, a symbol of their identity and culture. And the residence teacher in the community may integrate the objectives of traditional justice system under assigned subjects such as Araling Panlipunan, Sibika at Kultura, and other subjects in line with K-12 curriculum. And then to this, in the third objectives of the study, 5 teams were created. First, maintain peace and order. Second, avoid committing an offense. Third, exhibit cooperativism. Fourth, preserve values and discipline. And last, offenders learned their lesson. So we recommend that the local people in Sarmingan should continue to embrace and appreciate the traditional justice system in order to continue the peace and order program of the community. And the younger generation should continue to preserve the form of justice system, share and disseminate to other people the relevance of it in upholding their identity and culture as one people. Lastly, for the fourth objectives, we came up with 2 themes, giving importance to customary ways and obligation to follow. So we recommend that the community of Sarmingan is also encouraged to develop their museum to be used as display center of their indigenous resources and artifacts as evidence of their history and preservation of culture. And other studies are encouraged to conduct by other researchers to understand more about the indigenous people, traditions, and culture. That's all, and thank you very much, and God bless.
Okay, thank you for Ms. Kapto for the massive information, especially according to the culture in the Philippines. Okay, for the other audience, if you have any question to Ms. Kapto, please raise your hand or you can write your question in chat room. Okay, now?
Can I ask a question before?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. My name Nawawi from ICETECH PGRI Pontianak. It is interesting about a traditional justice system that been explained, and I want know about how many days if someone do achieve, or maybe someone across the line in a culture, they has been arrested with the wooden stuff like that, maybe 2 days, 3 days, or maybe 1 year. There is okay. I just want to know. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Good
ma'am.
morning, sir.
Yeah.
It took 1 day only, sir. 1 day.
Oh,
Oh, 1 day punishment, sir. One
Yes,
punishment.
ma'am. Yes, sir. 1 day punishment only, sir.
Oh, okay.
If
Thanks.
they see that they will repent, and automatically after 8 hours they will release, sir, according to the native.
oh, okay.
And it still continues until now, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Until now they practice that tradition, sir.
Oh, okay. That's right. That's good, I think. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the information.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's really good discussion. Actually, in Indonesia, we have a same tool, ma'am. We have a same tool to punish people, but also to when people have a problem with their psychology, the closest people maybe use that tool to lock he or she it in the in some place in Indonesia. But in Indonesia we actually don't use that tool again. Maybe in some place, but in overall we do not use that tool again. So I think we have a same culture, maybe in different method about that tool. Okay. Thank you, Ms.
I agree, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Gakto, and of course the question from Mr. Nawawi. Now I think we will move on to the next presenter.
Welcome, sir.
Okay. So we have Miss Dana. Sorry, I don't recognize the gender, but we have Dana Biteng Malamion. Hello.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. So, Ms. Dana Biteng Malamion has a paper entitled The Implementation of Strategic Performance Management Systems, SPMS, among state universities and colleges in Region 1. Okay. So, Ms. Dana, do you prefer to use a video presentation or live presentation?
I prefer to use the video I sent to the admin, sir.
Okay, thank you. I will play your video. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the presentation from Ms. Dana.
Good day, everyone. I would like to present my research entitled Implementation of the Strategic Performance Management System among the State Universities and Colleges of Region 1. Article 9B of the Philippine Constitution mandated the Civil Service Commission to create a mechanism where the employees' performance, accountability, sufficiency, and output are measured, and in return, these efforts are acknowledged through merits and reward system. In response, the Civil Service Commission issued Memorandum Circular Number 6 Series of 2012, stating that all government agencies must have their own strategic performance management system. Joint Circular CSC and DBM number 1 series of 2012 was later on issued, stating that the approved SPMS shall be the basis for the personnel's eligibility for promotion and other incentives. This study was anchored from the different principles of management as follows. For number 1, principles of performance management. In here, corporate goals were translated into individual, team, department, and divisional goals. This helped to clarify corporate goals through continuous and evolutionary process in which performance improves over the time. In this principle, the importance of cooperation both by the management and its employees has been emphasized. Second item, we have the principle of merit system. Authority was given to agencies to manage performance effectivity, although it means more responsibility and accountability for the management. The merit system principle provides a framework for responsible behavior and are the key to mission success. Planning, monitoring, developing, appraising, and rewarding are considered the 5-component process of effective performance management. For the principles of process management, it is natural to view processes as the prime segmentation strategy internal to organizations, of which should be measurable. Through traceable process, actions are initiated and do not end until the results of the value are derived and eventually utilized to create the desired output. And for the last, accountability, we have the principle of accountability. It requires that administrators to take responsibility of what they do with personal data and how to comply with other principles. Now, may I show to you the conceptual framework of my study. For my input, I'm showing here that there are 3 respondents in my study. We have the administrators, faculty, and non-teaching personnel. And their personal profile were included as part of the study. First is the age, sex, then civil status, highest educational attainment, official designation, faculty rank, or administrative position, and number of years in service. Second, the level of attainment of the vision, mission, goals, and objectives is insofar as SPMS is concerned. Number 3, the level of orientation is undertaken by the SUCs to implement SPMS. 4 is the extent of implementation and effectiveness of the salient provisions of SPMS along hiring, promotion, transfer, step increment, and performance-based incentive system. Number 5, we have the level of implementation and effectiveness of the SPMS cycle. Number 6 is the significant relationship between the profile of the respondents and the level of implementation and extent of effectiveness of the salient provisions of SPMS along hiring, promotion, transfer, step increment, and performance-based incentive system. And lastly is the competency of the performance management team and other key players. For the process, in here we analyze the following. First is the profile of the respondents, the level of attainment of the VMGO concerning the SPMS, the level of orientation undertaken by the SUCs to implement SPMS, the extent of implementation and effectiveness of salient provisions of SPMS, the level of implementation and effectiveness of the SPMS cycle. We have the significant relationship between the respondents' profile and the extent of implementation and effectiveness of the salient provisions of the SPMS. We also have the competency of the performance management team and other key players in the implementation of SPMS, and the formulation of validation of the proposed enhancement program. The output of my study is the enhancement program for a sustained implementation of SPMS among SUCs in Region 1. The results and discussion. For number 1, the respondents' profile indicates good and evenly distributed qualifications in the SPMS implementation. The VMGOs of the SUCs were highly attained with the implementation of the SPMS. Number 3, SUCs had conducted high level of orientation about the implementation of the SPMS. Number 4, the high implementation of the SPMS was highly effective along hiring, promotion, and step increment. The stages of SPMS cycle is highly implemented by the SUCs and is highly effective. The profile of the faculty members and non-teaching personnel are significantly related to the extent of implementation and effectiveness of the salient provisions of SPMS, while that of the administrators' profile are not. The SPMS key players are highly competent in the implementation of the SPMS, and an enhancement program on the implementation of SPMS can be designed based on the result of the study. As for the recommendation, the SUCs may institutionalize through the human resource development plan an assistance or aid that the personnel may avail to improve their educational profile. The SUCs are encouraged to revisit the provisions of the SPMS to address the attainment of their VMJO, particularly on areas of operation requiring improvement. The SUCs are encouraged to institutionalize a system that makes orientation on SPMS be done periodically to their constituents. Number 4, the SUCs may adopt measures to strengthen the records management for a more organized and easier access on IPCR or OPCR documents needed for legitimate intent or purposes, such as transfer or promotion, among others. Number 5, an annual or regular training to empower, motivate, and guide the personnel should be conducted in order to address their concerns in accomplishing the paperwork of IPCR. Number 6, team building is encouraged to be conducted by the institutions at least once a year. Number 7, the agency may institutionalize a workshop or training program purposely for the SPMS, PMT, and other key players to be conducted at least once a year on the preparation of the SUC's targets based on the General Appropriations Act. The proposed enhancement program is recommended for consideration by the state universities and colleges of Region 1, and further study of the SPMS program for each of the SUCs in Region 1 in terms of sustainability and impact and is encouraged. And now may I show to you my enhancement program, or the proposed enhancement program for the strategic performance management system among the state universities and colleges of Region 1. In here, the recommendations are made in details for the perusal of the different state universities and colleges. Okay. And this is the slide number 2. Okay, and number 3. Okay, thank you everyone and good day.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dana. That was a good information according to SPMS. For all audience, if you have any question to Ms. Dana, please raise your hand and open your microphone. None? Okay. I think the information is very clear, so that was a good work. Ms. Dana, thank you for sharing your work with us, and I hope you will succeed in your project.
Thank you, sir.
Now we will move on to the next presenter. So we have Mr. Balbin and Valejos, entitled A Treasure Study of Bachelor of Science in Office Administration Program of INEPSC from 2014 until 2019. Okay, Mr. Balbin, do you prefer doing a live presentation or using video?
I think you'll just utilize for the video, sir.
Okay.
Can you utilize for the video?
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will play the presentation from Mr. Balbin.
Okay po, I am Jason James Balbin. Kindly allow me po to present my study entitled A Treasure Study of Bachelor of Science in Office Administration Program of NLPC from 2014 to 2019 with Mr. Jairus Vallejos po. We are both from College of Business Education po of NLPSC. So our study revolves around North Luzon Philippine State College, was been productive po for 11 fruitful years, radiating the humble colors of its emblem. For 11 years po, the College of Business Cultivation, composed of Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and Bachelor of Science in Office Administration, is one of the most student-populated college po, which dynamically produced thousands of graduates. According to Alma, in his tracer study po of BSBA graduates of academic institution from 2016 to 2018, majority of the respondents were hired within 6 months or within a year after graduation. Difficulties encountered in looking for their first job were lack of job vacancies, inadequate experience, low compensation offer, and mismatch of job qualification. Consequently po, Calma also states that the purpose of the study is to know the quality assurance of course program, thus higher education institution can contribute meaningfully by applying for the principles of tracer study. For that reason, the tracer study could serve then as a documentary analysis about the need for the enhancement of quality courses offered to the institution. This enables then the CBE to meet the changing educational, socio-economic, industrial, and technological sphere of the century. So we're trying to find the gaps po in the current curriculum of the study so that we can improve it for the betterment po of our current curriculum. Let's go po to the methodology. So this quantitative descriptive method of research was used to gather information about general profile of the respondents to answer questions concerning the employability of the respondents. Our participants are the graduates of BSOA from 2014 to 2019. Here are our results. So for this first table po, it shows that female overwhelms the male po. Also, there are 14 married respondents already compared to only 3. The data also reveal that the affordability of the course for their family was the main reason why they choose PSOA, followed by the influence of their parents and relatives. Comparing that to the last rank, peer influence, and it can be deduced that the influence of the family then is a much stronger driving force in the choice of these BSOA graduates than that of their friends or peers. For the second set po of table, the present status of employment of the respondents, table 2 shows that more than half of the respondents, or 64.7%, are presently employed. In terms po of the current line of business that the respondents are employed in, financial intermediaries po are at the top with 40%, and that is of course not surprising because we are in line of providing office services as a BSOA graduate. The second in the list is other community, social, and personal services activity. Table 3 po. The number one reason of the respondents for accepting po their current job is career challenges. Then salaries and benefits related to special skills and related to courses are at the second spot with 23.1% of the respondents choosing them. Now, these respondents po are staying with their current job because of salaries and benefits and being related to the course with 23.1%. The data also revealed that the peers of the respondents have zero effect in their decision of accepting and staying in their job. For those who changed their jobs, 23.1% chose salaries and benefits as a reason. In terms of the length of time in staying in their first job, there are 2 respondents who are already on their 4 to 6 year, while most of them are still in their first 2 years. More than half of the respondents found their first job by being a walk-in, but 20% found it through a job fair. The respondents are quick in finding the first job, at 41.2% of them were accepted in less than a month po. And lastly po, for our table 4, the table 4 shows that 70.6% of the respondents believe that the current BSOA curriculum of NLPS is relevant to their first job. 29.2% of the respondents choose communication skill as the most useful competency that they learn in NLPSC next to critical thinking skills with 16.7%. After these 2 skills are information technology skills, human relation skills, and problem solving skills po. With all those results, we now want to conclude that the finding revealed that affordability is the main reason why the respondents have chosen BSOA as their career, and that peers have limited effect in their decision making for taking this said course and for taking their first job and staying at their current job. It can be concluded that the BSOA graduates of NLPIC are way more successful in finding a job as a walk-in, and that they are not usually attracted to stay or accept a job because of salaries and rewards. It is noteworthy, really, that the salaries and benefits was not the top reason for staying on accepting the job, because in the studies of Calm and Clarin 2020 and Ojeda Hintalan 2020, salaries and benefits was the top reason. The top reason for accepting the job was third in the study of Calma and Clarin and Ojeda Hintalan. In addition to that, 53.3% of the respondents found their first job as a walk-in, and this was not a top way in finding the first job in the studies of Calma and Clarin and Ojeda Hintalan. And then the respondents suggested trainings and seminars in office administration and more on self-improvement for professionalism in further improving the course, and that the biggest issue in looking for a job was lack of experience. So again po, that is our study entitled the Trader's Study of Bachelor of Science in Office Administration program of NLPSC from 2014 to 2019. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Mr. Balvin for the great presentation and of course the information about the treasure study of Bachelor of Science. Now I will open again the discussion according to the Mr. Balvin papers. So maybe any question? I think that was a good information, because I think every university has their own treasure study to trace the graduated student from the university, and of course to make a graduated profile. And I think in Indonesia it's very important to have the data of treasure study according to accreditation process. Okay. No question? Okay, none. So thank you, Mr. Balvin, for good information according to the treasure study. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Now we will move on to the next presenter. Okay. The next presenter is Miss Wulan Siti Nurlaila. So hello, Miss Nurlaila.
Hello.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you here with us. So do you prefer to doing a live presentation or use prepare video?
Video, sir.
Okay, thank you. I will play your video presentation.
Sir.
Yes.
Sorry, name video ada Suherman.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Nurlaila, I think I can't found your video in the folder. I also checked to another folder, and there is no video name by Ade Suherman. So maybe you have your file in your device, so you can share your video using your device.
Okay, wait, sir.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Nurlaila, please don't forget to check sharing audio. Hello, Miss Nurlaila. I think you should pause and close your share screen. After that, reshare again, but check the share audio.
Share audio.
Yeah, before you choose your video.
Okay, share some. Search with the title Actualization of the Value of Local Wisdom in Era 4.0 as a Learning Resource for Pancasila and Citizenship Education. Table of content in my presentation: 1. Introduction, 2. Method, 3. Results and discussion, and 4. Conclusion. Introduction. Globalization has caused the flow of culture and life values from various countries to enter and affect the lives of Indonesian people. This phenomenon makes cultural pluralism increasingly high in Indonesia, so it becomes a challenge to maintain cultural identity and local wisdom values. Kampung Naga is one of the cultural assets in Indonesia. Based on the results of interviews in the pre-research conducted, there are many values of local wisdom that can be used as a source of civic learning. One of them is the term pamali, which is still considered an unwritten rule, but is still implemented by local residents, and they believe that if violated, there will be sanctions for themselves and the environment. These values can, of course, be integrated with the values or message that will be conveyed to students in the subject of Pancasila and citizenship education or PPKN. Actualizing the value of local wisdom as a source of civics learning is expected to be able to create a relationship between knowledge, effective and skills of students, so that the three main components need to be studied in civics, namely civic knowledge, civic skills, and civic dispositions will be fulfilled and achieved by students. Next method. The research method used is descriptive analytical method. This research method is based on fact-based problem solving and focus on actual problems that occur at the time the research was conducted. Descriptive method is considered appropriate to be used in this study. The reason for its use are: first, descriptive methods are not limited to data collection, but include analysis and ways of interpreting the meaning of the data. And second, it can describe data or information from expert opinions, observation, and interviews, which can then be drawn a conclusion so that it has maximum results. Next, results and discussion. 1. Local wisdom values of Naga village that are relevant to be used learning research for civics are: 1. Loving the environment, 2. Cooperation or gotong royong, 3. Togetherness, 4. Simplicity and equality, 5. Independence, 6. Creative, 7. Responsibility, and 8. Consistent and principle. 2. There are several ways that PPKN teacher must pay attention to in actualizing the values of local wisdom in learning, namely, 1. The teacher must first understand the local wisdom that will be developed in learning. 2. The teacher determine the material. 3. Setting learning objective based on indicators set from competency standard and basic standard competencies and civic learnings based on local wisdom. And 4. The use of methods. 5. Determine the learning media that is adjusted to the competency standard and basic competencies. And 6. The teacher conducts in an evaluation with the aim of knowing how far the level of success is. And 3. From the result of interviews conducted by researchers and associates with the theory above, the obstacle faced by teachers in the process of actualizing the value of local wisdom in Kampung Naga as a sort of civic learning at SMAN 8 Garut are: 1. Internal constraints include difficulties in integrating the values of local wisdom of Kampung Naga because there are students who don't know the traditional village at all, as well as local wisdom that exists, especially in the Garut. External constraints include the availability of inadequate learning support facilities and the lack of support and cooperative attitude from the school to facilitate access to contextual and learning by doing based learning, such as the difficulty of obtaining school permission to the field trips. And 4. Relevant material to be associated with the local wisdom values of the Kampung Naga, 2. Selection of learning models, 3. Find out about art forms, traditional ceremonies, and customary laws by using electronic media as a source of information. And 4. Choose a field trip location that is close to the school. And then, conclusion. There are so many values of local wisdom in Kampung Naga that can be actualized in civic subject at school. In actualizing the values of local wisdom, of course, there are obstacles faced by teachers, such as school permits or the lack of adequate infrastructure. To overcome this, the teacher of SMAN 8 Garut made several efforts. For example, visiting the nearest traditional location or using the internet as a medium for finding information. Thank you for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you, Miss Nur Laila. That was a unique and good presentation. Yeah, I don't think that the word family, pamali, gotong royong will be appear in international seminar. So that was really good, presenting the local wisdom of Indonesia.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now I will open the discussion according to Ms. Nur Laila papers. Please, if any question, raise your hand and tell us your question. None? Okay, I think the information is very clear, and of course the unique word such as pamali, gotong royong will be mysterious word. Will be a mysterious word because I personally will read this paper if the publisher already published it. Okay, thank you, Ms. Nur Laila.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. Now we move on to the next presenter. So we have Ms. Cynthia Carino. Okay, Ms. Cynthia Carino, entitled "The Life Experiences of LGBTQ+ Educators State University and College, SUCS, in Ilocos. So, hello, Miss Carino.
Hello, sir. Pleasant day to you, sir, and to all the other presenters.
Yes, ma'am.
Mabuhay from Philippines.
Yeah, I will play your video. Do you prefer to use prepare video?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much because we have a technical problem here. So we would be very thankful to present our research through video presentation, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the presentation from Ms. Cynthia Carino et al.
Good day, everyone. Mabuhay. Warmest greetings here from the Philippines. First of all, we would like to say thank you to the organizers of this conference for giving us this great opportunity to present to you our study entitled The Lived Experiences of the LGBTQ+ Educators in State Universities and Colleges in Ilocos Sur, Philippines. Studies show that the LGBTQ+ group still experiences bullying, harassing, discriminating, or prejudice. This study aimed to investigate whether or not this was reflected in the reality of the lived experiences of the LGBTQ+ educators in the state universities and colleges in the province of Ilocos Sur. Moreover, the qualitative method of this research will fill the gap in the research literature because of the lack of studies. We are hoping that this study will add significantly to the existing works and will stand to bring a significant data to issues that need closer attention, mainly on the plight of the LGBTQ+ educators. For the objective of this study, the main purpose is to determine the lived experiences of the LGBTQ+ educators in state universities and colleges in Ilocos Sur, here in the Philippines. Specifically, it is intended to expand the understanding of the experiences of the LGBTQ+ educators and to add the literature addressing diversity, acceptance, and equality in educational professions. The narration of their experiences will portray their uniqueness as part of the academe. The result will hopefully add to the limited published history of the LGBTQ educators' experiences and the relevance to success despite significant. For the methodology, a phenomenological research design was used to get a broader perspective of the multi-dimensional experiences of the participants. The phenomenological study can give us the background in understanding the situation of the LGBTQ+ educators. Data were collected through semi-structured, in-depth interviews. The narratives were analyzed using colysis methodology. The respondents are the LGBTQ+ educators from selected state universities and colleges in Ilocos Sur. A snowball and the criterion-based sampling was used in selecting the participants with the following criteria. 1. They must hold a license to teach. 2. They are teaching in the state universities and colleges in Ilocos Sur. 3. Self-identified as LGBTQ+ community member. And lastly, willingness to be interviewed. With the participants' permission, the researchers conducted a semi-structured interview which was audio recorded and transcribed verbatim. The researchers take notes during the interview to assist in obtaining the accuracy and transcription. The main research question is, what experiences do LGBTQ plus teachers share as educators? Before gathering pertinent data or information from the participants or respondents, the researchers sought permission from authorities through channels. Upon approval of the research proposal, the researchers asked permission from the SUC presidents to conduct the study. The researchers should see to it that the participants will feel comfortable and at ease, ensuring the privacy and confidentiality of all information from the potential participants. For the results and discussions, from the data gathered from 6 participants who were treated using coding, organized teams into 2 themes. We have A, personal experience, B, professional experience. With the theme of personal experiences is divided in 2 sub-themes. We have familiar acceptance and support and community acceptance. The theme professional experiences is composed of respect and inclusivity. For Team 1, personal experience, familiar, acceptance, and support, all the respondents experienced strong acceptance and support from their families and relatives. The respondents are independent, talented, responsible members of their family. Most of them are breadwinners, and the love and respect from their loved ones is evident. For teacher participant 1, Vicky said, I'm accepted in a family. I'm even a cross-dresser when I'm home. Teacher participant 5, named Sam, as lesbian, there is no problem about my sex preference to my family. My father is even the one who bought or provide me jeans or pantalon to wear. Participant 6, Piolo said, being lesbian is not an issue to my family. I am accepted. Undoubtedly, acceptance by family members was an empowering experience for the participants. It helps increase participants' self-esteem and self-awareness and allows them to be self-confident. Strong support and family acceptance gave the participants the courage and strength to move forward amid adversity and challenge heteronormativity. For results and discussion, B, community acceptance. The respondents of this study are active members of the LGBTQ plus community. Identifying with the social groups can help one's esteem and confidence. There is a significant impact on how one feels he or she can be based on an individual's community view of LGBT people. For teacher participant 1BK, in our community, I am a member and advisor of an LGBT group. The said group is an officially recognized gender advocate in our municipality. For teacher participant 2, Jinky, asserted, I am part of an LGBT organization and my contribution inspire young educators and co-member of the LGBT group. Teacher participant 4, Gracia, highlighted the things their group can do. In the LGBT group where I belong, we had lots of activities for the community, like alay gupit, coastal cleaning, ground beautification, and others. For teacher participant 5, Sam said, I experienced good acceptance of the community. Even the school is open to us members of LGBT. In this study, the respondents feel accepted by their families and the community because of their essential role as part of their family and the community. The acceptance of who they are and what they are doing as members of their family and in the community they belong leads to other people to embrace and accept them as they are and even loving them of who they are. For Team 2, professional experience. A, respect from students and fellow educators. The respondents in this study felt much respect from their students and colleagues. Most of them believe in the saying, respect begets respect. For B, inclusivity, the various roles, responsibilities, and assigned tasks given to the participants
are manifestations that they were given equal treatment, opportunities, and not being discriminated. Disclosure of the sexual orientation of the participants can make a school more inclusive.
Based on the findings of this study, the following conclusions were drawn. First, family and community acceptance and support to the LGBTQ plus people have a significant impact on their greater self-esteem and promote a healthy workplace environment. Secondly, being professional in the workplace results in gaining respect and create more positive relationships with others. And third, as the LG population of educators were accepted into a dominant culture, research will need to expand its parameters and definitions or risk pigeonholing itself as historically non-inclusive. And based on the findings and conclusions, the following recommendations are offered. First, comparative studies targeting the perspective of LGBTQ plus educators in other SUC would add dimension to this research. Second, educational institutions should adopt LGBT inclusive policies and issues, and that the depiction of homosexuality should not be negative. And last, provide better equality training concerning sexual orientation and establish effective support networks for LGBTQ plus educators. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Carino. That was a good information about the life experience of LGBTQ plus educator in state university and college in Ilocos. So for all of audience, maybe do you have any question to Ms. Carino?
May I ask to Ms. Carino,
Okay.
Mr. Lingga?
Yes.
This is interesting, LGBTQ plus. So my question is, what must we do as a lecturer or maybe a teacher if we have an LGBTQ plus student in our class? Because there is still, we found bullying that always they get in bahasa they call bertang lunak gitu. They always can bullying always soft bone. Maybe what must teacher do? Maybe that is my question. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nawawi. It is all about the problem in a class. Maybe the other classmate will bullying the student with LGBTQ plus. So, Ms. Carino, maybe any response according to the Mr. Nawawi's question?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Actually, in educational institutions, it was found out that LGBT people, not just the faculty, even the students, are subject to discrimination, bullying, and abuse under the guise of academic freedom, which allows educational institutions to create their own policies. So LGBT issues are not included actually in the curricula of the schools. So that is actually one of the thing that we should do so that we can protect also the rights of this individual, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity. So positive case studies included pride events on campuses and even elections of LGBTQ individuals in every organizations inside the campus. So that's what we recommend. because they are also human beings. It's just their preference, sex preference, identity. So
Yes,
they
ma'am.
have to be respected as well.
I agree with your opinion. We must know that they are a sexual identity, so we can give them maybe an equality in education. Uh, I think that's my question is that my new about the LGBT, because there is a place in a Sabas area in West Kalimantan also there is LGBT, so we found that student always discriminate in that area. So I think there is a new way of development way of the development of sexual identity that can be give the school. I think there is maybe some days Mr. Kano can give us about this LGBT in my college maybe. It is interesting about the LGBT. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nawawi, and then of course, Ms. Carrido for a good information according to the research. Now we move on to the next presenter. So,
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome, ma'am. Okay, now we move on to the next presenter. So we have Miss Efrialiani Rosba, entitled Student Creativity Through Digital Mind Map. So, ma'am, do you prefer to do live presentation or prepare video?
Video.
Okay, I will play your video.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ms. Rosba work entitled Student Creativity Through Digital Mind Map.
Morning, everyone. Thank you for attention. Please, I want to my presentation the research the title Student Creativity Through Digital Mind Map. My team. Aplied Rosba, Rina Widiana, Asam Jamaluddin, dan affiliation Universitas PGRI Sumatera Barat. Introduction. Creativity is a higher order thinking skill that has evolved from other skills such as remembering, understanding, offering, analyzing, evaluating. Creativity is needed in various areas of life to face less challenge. The facts show the many research results in Indonesia report the student creativity is still low. Improving student creativity requires an innovation, so it is very important to make change in the learning process, not only the activity learning process. So the collaboration in learning is established with indirectly will creativity, model creativity through exploration of creative ideas, in the learning process can improve students' thinking skill, especially in writing creative ideas. Then we need media to develop these ideas. One of the tools or media is a digital mime. So GMM. Digital mime or GMM is a medium for conceptualizing knowledge, exchange ideas, and exploring ideas, as well as providing a stimulus in the form of visual element, making my map. They are made easy to analyze, understand, and memory to see the relationship between core of information for problem-solving linear text. Methodology. So this edition, the type of research used is experimental research designed with a pretest process, no equivalent control group design. The research procedure, the treatment in the experimental and control process was given a pretest in the form of a test in the form of making a digital mime by student. The final state of the result was given a process in the form of a test in the form of making a digital mime by student. Research instrument in the form of a creativity assessment sheet equipped with an assessment rubric reference to Monet and Connell with indicator including keyword, material substitutability, organization, and layout, material completeness, creativity, image symbol, and graphic line, use of color. And analyze the analyze data analysis use the normality test using the Kolmogorov Smirnov test, while the homogeneity test use the Levens. Result. Summary of student creativity as result at University PGRI Sumatera Barat, the class experiment and control. So the table 1, so the average correct experimental class is 83,014, while in the control class it is 74319. They explain the creativity of students of digital method better. The result of the study indicate the digital method can improve student creativity as presented in Figure 1 and Figure 2. Figure 1, example of student creativity show a GMM using the enrollment application. Figure 2, example student creativity show a GMM using the assessment application. Discussion. The result of the digital mime in Figure 1 using the enrollment application show the branches of the knowledge either obtained because knowledge can improve individual performance in creativity text because there is a relationship between text structure and knowledge base. Figure 2, a digital map made by students using the H-main application by making right from the knowledge ideas of STEM. Student digital map creativity, so the develop of ideas explained through its brains. For example, in the digital mind map, the unused material in the mind bread, the describe the characteristic of monopod plant, and the brand level is created alone, as well as the mind brand revealing the classification of the brand level model other brands. Also, each one is given a different color of the IDs. They appear to make it either to remember and make the result look more interesting. Conclusion. Use of digital method in learning can increase student creativity, so GMM is recommended to be used in the learning process to improve creative thinking. This research was only conducted on biology education students. Therefore, it is recommended the future research be carried out by exploring and applying GNN in a wider context, so as a different level of education and a various scientific field. So thank you for attention.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rosba. That was a good presentation and, of course, information about the student creativity through digital mind map. Okay, maybe any question to Mr. Rosba according to the topic, student creativity or digital mind map? Okay, none. Yeah, I think the information is very clear. Mr. Rusba showing us about the effectiveness using digital mind map to push the student creativity. So thank you, Ms. Rosba. I personally waiting to read the full paper of this work. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rosba. Now I think we will move on to the next presenter. So we have Mr. Nawawi and Mr. Pradana, entitled Eco-Literacy-Based Bio-Entrepreneurship, Improving the Culture of Plastic Waste Processing. So, Mr. Nawawi, do you prefer to doing a live presentation or using prepared video?
I'm prefer to live presentation, sir.
Okay, sir. So please begin your presentation.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my presentation. First of all, let me thank you for your coming and listening my presentation today. Let me start by saying a few words about myself. My name is Nawawi from Biology Education Department of ICETECH PGRI Madiun. As you can see in our screen, it's our research. My name now and my friend Rio Wardani. It's about the title is about eco-literacy based bio-entrepreneurship, improving the culture of plastic waste processing. And my talk is particularly relevant to those who has interesting in bio-entrepreneurship and eco-literacy. The intent of competition requires graduates of ICETECH PGRI Pontianak to have a good academic ability, hard skill, and soft skill, and can be used in the world of work, both in education and non-education. Biology education study program, students are not only equipped with academic skill to teach in a classroom, but they are also equipped with various knowledge about living things, both animals and plants. Currently, biology entrepreneurship positively impact a biology learning activity, creativity, and interest in entrepreneurship. Not only through bio-entrepreneurship-based learning activity, but various biology entrepreneurship teaching material are still needed by students, such as development of bio-entrepreneurship-based LKS through the manufacture of nata delivery on conventional biotechnology materials can be applied to learning at the high school level, 2014. Meanwhile, Cristanti et al. 2012, increasing student entrepreneurial attitudes and interest through the making nata de soya and soygut activities. Based on observation at school, students they often make habits of consuming, drinking, and food packaging using plastic. The use of plastic contributes to an increasing of plastic waste that is difficult to decompose naturally and endangers the survival of marine biota, then waste carried to the sea by the river. Students in school prefer plastic package, which is risky to health and environment, rather than using bowl, plates, and glasses, which are safer from food. Mawati et al. 2019. Research purpose. We know that the research carries out helps train the eco-literacy skill of prospective biology teacher student through the practice of processing plastic waste in the bio-entrepreneurship course. By using appropriate teaching material to teach bio-entrepreneurship to students, it facilitates the implementation of learning material and it can develop an eco-literacy. So, the study aims to determine the ability of eco-literacy in bio-entrepreneurship learning in prospective biology teacher student at ICETECH PGRI Pontianak. Research method. The research method is of using a survey method. It's aimed to determine the eco-literacy ability of students in eco-literacy oriented bio-entrepreneurship learning practice for students of the biology education program in ICETECH PGRI Pradana. Data analyze. The sample in this study is 35 prospective biology teacher students who took the bio-entrepreneurship course at the biology education study program. Data analyze using a quantitative research. Result and discussion. This is our data on eco-literacy student of PGRI Pradana. Using modification from an Epidemic Lab 2020. This is our data. Okay, from the data, this is a picture of Sintang Flood in Malawi City in West Kalimantan in 2001. While the result of the eco-literacy questionnaire showed that the prospective biology teacher have a high eco-literacy ability, where 66.489% of the respondents strongly agree and 23.05% agree that natural damage can occur due to the environment damage. Human action and real action needed to overcome the interesting critical earth condition. Even natural disaster will continue to happen if humans do not take a precaution. Of the efforts made to using reduce, reuse, and recycle. Literacy can bring the development of culture and concern to the natural environment. Ecoliteracy can also be said to be continuous attitude toward the environment, constantly protecting the, according to the knowledge Putri, people who know the ecoliteracy can be prepared to create an effective, sustainable community with all their hearts, their hand, and their soul. They also have an organic understanding of the world and participatory action in protecting of the environment. The opinion in this is aligned with the rest of the ecoteracy oriented by entrepreneurship learning, which is expected after gaining basic knowledge about plastic waste and waste process technology. Students are expected to be able to design and develop creative economic business by utilizing recycled residual product. This is our doing after one class in our class. The entrepreneurship course is about processing plastic waste. They cleaning and cutting plastic bottle. They heat the plastic and making a home decor using recycled plastic waste. Meanwhile, also using an acrylic. We combine the acrylic and the plastic. Ecoliteracy cannot only be taught in theory, but can be taught directly through various activities related to nature, such as processing plastic waste into valuable new products. Conclusion: the research can be concluded that prospective biology teacher student from IPGRI Pontianak already know about ecoliteracy, and they can build ecoliteracy skill by processing plastic waste into a valuable new item. The researchers hope that the ability of ecoliteracy can be possessed by every student, can be when image to the earth. Thank you very much. Okay. Stop there. And for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nawawi. That was a good information, and of course the research about recycling the plastic. Yeah, plastic is a very massive problem right now. Okay, for all participants in room I, maybe any question to Mr. Nawawi? Okay, sir, maybe sir, I would like to ask about the market. So the college student from Department of Biology Education creating such as pin and the other stuff. How about the market, sir?
Thank you for the question. From the product that has been done by the student, we in this research we not sell the product, but we of the biggest chance in Bali, because Bali have a lot of plastic waste, and few days ago I have research about the plastic process production in Bali. So I think there is a good idea to make a lot of stuff, a lot of maybe not only the product. We maybe make a table, make a chair, and we shall. You know that that will become bahan pengganti kayu, or maybe we call it
Okay.
new. Yes, the chase we come like that. Thank you.
Of course, by using acrylic, right?
Yes, yes.
Plastic and
We
acrylic.
combine.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
combine.
Combining plastic and acrylic. That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. Plastic is just a massive problem, especially in Indonesia, and yeah, I hope Mr. Narawawi and the team, yeah, also Mr. Wardani succeeds to doing the project. Yeah, the project. So thank you, Mr. Nawawi and Mr. Wardani. Okay, now we move on to the next presenter. So we have Ms. Suryani Sari. Okay. Hello, Ms. Sari.
Hello. Okay. I'm share screen.
Okay. Okay. Of course.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for moderator Lingga Nico, Mr. Lingga Nico. I would like to say thank you for coming my presentation. It's great to see all. Okay, let's introduce myself. I am Suryani Sari. I'm from ICETECH PGRI Pontianak. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's the last presentation we thought as formal for class 8 boy student at junior high school in Kadau City. Okay. My team is the Wilson Duli Agus Lau and me, and then Deonesia and Rusty. Okay, next. Introduction. Education assessment standard are also nation education standard related to the assessment by educators, education units, and government. National education standards serve as the basis for planning, implement, and suffering education in order to the quality national education. Junior high school is the period of early place after they have gone through the elementary school years. These early adults range from 10 for 50 years, and this time also physical motor development and the level is also developing. Physical motor skill development in line with the growth of body size. Physical ability and physiological change. The athletic number taught in class 8 in according with the curriculum syllabus, namely fast walking, short distance running, long jump, and shortcut. The method they use quality survey, sampling technique use proprietary random sampling, purpose random sampling. The sample was 7% of class 8 students in the 7 public junior high school through the Sekadau Hilir district. Sekadau regency amount to 65. And then the result, the norma and this norma run 60 meters norma, long term norma, and short norma. The category very less, moderate, sufficient, and good is the norma in the athletic norma. Athletic have allowed and adapted to the times, not only of exhibition. Athletic has also been integrated into education. The transformation of athletics sport implements in from the athletic learning. In the physical education subject, athletic learning is one of the materials taught in junior high school. The basic competence is the bridge material are understanding the concept of the bridge specific motion variance and the practice bridge specific motion variation. The ability to work is very important for students. There are three assessment criteria the most be affected by students, namely cognitive, affective, and psychometric assessment. This research focused more on the psychomotor aspect. Through the preparation of tests, norma on the 4 athletic sport item, namely bridge, 6-meter running, long jump, and short put, is the hope that physical education teachers will find the answer to determine student assessment. So, the conclusion, based on the result of data analysis, it can be conclude the compilation for athletic test normal for the male student of the class 8 and state junior high school through the Skadau Highlands district. Skadau Regency is the determinant by fine criteria, namely good, substantial, moderate, less and fairless. The sub-material for the athletic learning in class 8 are bricks. 16 meters running, jump, and short. Thank you. Thank you very much for the great extension, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Lingga, Nico.
You're welcome, Ms. Sari. That was a good presentation according to the sport, athletic, standardization of athletic test norm for class 7 boys student at State Junior High School. Yes. Okay, now we'll open again the discussion about the paper or the presentation from Ms. Sari. So for all audience, any question? None?
No.
Okay, I think we don't have a question about the paper or the topic. So thank you, Ms. Sari, for joining us and present your work with us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lingga Nico.
You're
See you.
welcome, ma'am. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, actually we have 4 titles. Yeah, we have 4 titles, but since the presenter or the author can't attend in this room, I still will play the video later after I close this session. So we are in the closing section now. So for the presenter of ICETECH 2022, for all of audience, thank you for joining us at ICETECH 2022. I hope this international seminar can develop, can make a good information for us, and of course made a good next project. Okay, and I do apologize if any problem, any error, any mistake that I made to guide you in this room. And see you next year. Of course, I hope we will meet again in ICETECH 2023. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning.
Thank you also, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Lingga.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Can we leave now?
Yeah, it's okay. But if you want to see the video, then it's also okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Lingga from PGRI Madiun University. I want to present my paper with the title "The Research-Based Constructive Controversy Model for Controversial History in the Post-Trad Era." Background: controversial history is history that has a narrative of event with various explanation or version. For example, G13 PGRI and Super Semar or Surat Perintah 11 Maret. In fact, controversial history often complicated the position of teacher. The information and communication technology has resulted in the development of various discourse and narrative which are different. Contemporary history learning is a challenge for teacher to face the post-Trad era. This research aims to design a controversial history learning model that is relevant to face to the post-Trad era. Method: the method used research and development by Cole and Pop. This research was conducted in Seno High School in Madiun City and Madiun Regency, Java. Data collection with in-depth interviews, questionnaires, and study of documentation. Data variety with triangulation, and data analysis with the interactive model. Result: based on the needs analysis of model in the preliminary study, a learning model designed using the deep carry and carry learning system design. The learning model is a research-based controversy constructive model because it is a dialogical approach in the controversial story learning. This model developed from a combination of several methods, namely implementation, discussion, and research-based learning. The broad result was validated by experts who obtained validation and suggested for improvement according to their expertise to make the model conceptually or theoretically feasible. This is a syntax of model with 7 steps. Discussion. The mindset and critically awareness of students are the main goals of controversial history learning. Critical awareness means the ability to think and act at the same time. Critical awareness is obtained through critical thinking skill or higher order thinking skill, which is important in the post-grad era. Students are expected not only to be able to see a problem as something that just happened, but also to be able to explore and the background of the controversial history. Controversial history learning can be important student critical thinking skill. Critical skill is important because it can improve the quality of skill to analyze, access, and reconstruct that the student think about to solve problems. Critical thinking skill is high-order thinking skill that requires critical, creative, and analytical thinking on data and information. Controversial history makes students think openly about difference in historical fact. It also provides an understanding that historical narratives are open to change and the conclusion are not final. Controversial history is able to provide a comprehensive understanding of the realities of the past. Through understanding various versions of history, students are expected to be able to see various points of view in spite of problems. The research-based constructive controversy model is expected to contribute to the improvement of students' critical thinking skill, which is the main goals of controversial history learning. Conclusion. Controversial history learning is a challenge for teachers to face the post-grad era as implication for the 4.0 revolution. A learning transformation is needed that can improve student critical skill, which is important to face the post-grad era. The research-based constructive controversy model is expected to contribute to the improvement of student critical skill, which is the main goals of controversial history learning. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Thank you for the opportunity given to me. It's an honor to meet all of you here. My name is Yeni Payani, and I'm proudly present our paper with a title, The Influence of Technology and Innovation Strategy on Financial Performance Through the Mediation of Intellectual Capital. This paper is a collaboration with Prof. Bambang Cahyadi, the lecturer of Airlangga University. No, I would like to give you a brief outline about our paper. Introduction. The success of a hospital depends on the perception of its patient or their assessment of the quality of service provided the hospital personnel. The purpose of innovation is not only to reduce cost, but also to improve product and service quality, design better products, extend product life cycle, and respond to customer needs and demands. A gap that is rising nowadays is due to decline trend in hospital efficiency. If the efficiency of the hospital decrease, it will have an impact on its service independence. The main challenge in Indonesia is that health need the increase both of them of quantity and quality. Is that Ministry of Health of Republic of Indonesia 2020. This is the problem and the challenge of hospital in the area of globalization. Hospital manager must know what things related to health service are needed to patient, and hospital leader must be able to innovate service product to improve corporate performance and overcome competition in order to create competitive advantage. Actually, 2013. Hypothesis development. Hypothesis number 1, technology and innovation strategy influence financial performance. Hypothesis number 2, intellectual capital mediated the influence of technology and innovation strategy on financial performance. Research methodology. This study used the quantitative method. The population in this study comprised 245 private hospitals in East Java, and from each hospital, one sample has taken which could represent the formation of policy at that hospital. The total sample use was 71 sample option using the sloping formula with a standard error of 10%, which is still suitable for use for social research. Usually, 2090. Data collection was done using a questionnaire. Result and discussion. The influence of technology and innovation strategy on the financial performance of private hospitals in East Java. The influence of the technology and innovation strategy of financial performance show early research indicating a positive standard coefficient. Therefore, hypothesis number 1 is rejected. The finding of the study related to the technology and innovation strategy variable show that this has no significant influence on financial performance, which is the line with previous research conducted by Rahmawati 2001 and Pigliardi, which stated the technology and innovation strategy had no effect on financial performance. Research and discussion. This is because to implement an effective and efficient innovation strategy and increase the research capable of implement is required namely by increased intellectual capital to be also option a high level of profitability. This is because innovation cannot be implemented without an increase in competent research. This is because to implement an effective and efficient innovation strategy, an increase in research capable of implementing it is required, namely by increasing intellectual capital to be able to obtain a high level of profitability. This is because innovation cannot be implemented without an increase in competent resources. Number two, the influence of technology and innovation strategy on financial performance mediated by intellectual capital and capital in private hospital in East Java. The effect of intellectual capital as an intervening variable on the indirect relationship between the technology and innovation strategy on financial performance here. Research indicated positively standard coefficient 0.347 statistic T statistic T. Research and discussion, therefore, hypothesis number one is accepted. It can be interpreted that intellectual capital as an intervening variable is proven to be able to mediate on indirect relationship between technology and innovation strategy on financial performance with a positive direction of influence. So it can be concluded that when it is linked directly to innovation strategy, it has a significant effect on financial performance. But when it is mediated by the intellectual capital variable in an indirect relationship, the results show that the technology and innovation strategy variable has an influence on financial performance then is mediated by intellectual capital, which has a positive and significant effect. That's all about our presentation today. Thank you for your attention, my elders. We have said the beneficial of for all of us. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you. I want to present my research. The title is Education System and Traditional Knowledge of Medicinal Plants for Healthcare in Tenggara, Pargodari Village, East Java, Indonesia. First is introduction. Indonesia has abundant medicinal plants resource. He said that it has more than 300 indigenous ethnic groups. The Tenggara is one of the indigenous communities in Java and lives in remote villages around Bromo Tengger Semeru National Park, which have long been rich in medicinal plants. This community creates a unique traditional knowledge of medicinal plants with its own cultural and religious theories. Due to the abstraction of the inherent things of traditional knowledge in Tengger tribe, this knowledge only spread within the same traditional elders, families, or regions. Therefore, ethnomedicinal field studies to document traditional knowledge and analyze education system on their young of Tengger tribe are necessary. Over the last decade, documentation and ethnomedicinal field study of medicinal plants used by the Tengger tribe has been carried out. Recently, Bhagawan and Kusumawati documenting 30 species of medicinal plants for healthcare in only one village, namely Ranupani. Another ethnomedicinal field study was carried out in Ngadas Kidul village by Salas et al. And Jadid et al. In Ngadasari village, which inventoried only a few species of medicinal plants. However, there is a lot of undocumented information from Tengger community in other 4 villages, one of which is Argusari village. This village is far from the center of the cultural and religious rituals of Tengger tribe, namely Mount Bromo. There is only one ethnomedicinal field study conducted by Bhagawan et al., which only documented medicinal plants for sexual problems. Therefore, study aims to document traditional knowledge and explore the education system of the young generation of Tengger tribe in Argusari village, East Java, Indonesia. The second section is material and methods. First is study area. This research took place at the Bromo Tengger Semeru National Park, East Java, Indonesia, has high medicinal plant biodiversity and inhabited by the local Tenggeris community. One core village of Tengger, namely Argusari, was designed as the research location. You can see in the figure, Argusari is about 135 kilometers from the capital city of East Java, namely Surabaya. Second is informant selection and data collection. The documentation of ethnomedicinal field study was carried out continuously during the period between 2011 until 2019, and written ethical approach was obtained from the Lumajang district government and the Bromo Tengger Semeru National Park office. Meanwhile, verbal requests were obtained from the customary head and village head. Information was collected from 30 traditional practitioners who use plant for their daily medicinal needs. The third is plant taxonomic identification. The taxonomic identification of plant was carried out by the first author using the reference of the Book of Flora of Java. In addition, the scientific name of this plant is also determined by referring to the website, the plant list and plantamor.com. In when plants that could not be identified were photographed and herbarium or scientific name identification by taxonomists in Materia Medica 1 and the Indonesian National Research and Innovation Agency Purwodadi Botanical Garden. The fourth is data analysis. The ethnomedicinal data obtained include demographic characteristic of the informants, plants used for traditional medicine and the most common disease categories, and education system on traditional knowledge of medicinal plants. Demographic characteristic of the informant and the education system were analyzed descriptively and percentage. Data on medicinal plants and disease categories were analyzed using quantitative ethnomedicinal index based on research by Hoffman and Gallagher, including SUV and informant consensus factor. And then result and discussion. The first is informant demographic characteristic. Can see in table 1, so the informant's demographic characteristic, most of the informants, about 80%, were male. The table also reveals that most of the informant, 37.33%, are 40 to 89 years old or elderly. However, this is a serious threat of local wisdom and actually disappear with the death of the older generation. Most of the respondents didn't pass from elementary school, and their main occupation is a farmer. This research is in accordance with the finding report they did in other villages in the same area. Second is traditional knowledge and disease categories. A total of 68 plant species belonging 38 families with traditional use as herbal medicine for various illness. The most common medicinal plant family was Zingiberdaceae, with 7 species were reported. And then the most used plant part were leaves. And then herbal preparation involve various preparation method documented. A total of 29 illness belonging to 6 disease categories are cataloged in table 3. You can see in table 3. And then SUV and ICF analysis. The result showed that Vinigellum vulgare citation with the highest FUV. The value is 0.87. Other plant species that have had SUV are Prunus persica, Acorus caramus, Plantago major, Piper betel, Curcuma santoriza, Pimpinella proajan, Bidentullosa, Alexia renwardi, and Zingiber officinale. The highest ICF value appears in the category of gastrointestinal disorders. The fourth research and discussion, this point not SUV and ICF analysis, but the education system of their young generation. The difference in educational background of the Argosari community is inversely proportional to the level of traditional knowledge. You can see in previous table or table 1, this proves that the educational background of the Tenggeris does not affect the level of local wisdom it has. The study revealed that most of the knowledge about medicinal plants was mastered by older members. That means 40 years. The traditional knowledge of Tenggeris is obtained from the older generation and passed on the younger generation through the informal education system. The majority of the informal education system is delivered to youth orally by their family members, about 83.33%. And the last is conclusion. The study reports on traditional ethnomedicinal knowledge and education system in younger generation of Tengger tribe, Argosari village in East Java. Among the 68 plant species belonging to 38 families reported, and Zingiberdaceae is the most widely used family in the area. The leaves are the favorite part of the local community. Gastrointestinal disorders are a category of disease that are most treating using medicinal plants. The most popular medicinal plant is Vinigellum vulgare with an SUV of 0.87. The education system applied to the younger generation is through informal education delivered orally by the family. In this way, we have collected significant basic data regarding the traditional knowledge of medicinal plants for primary health care, henceforth ready for further phytochemical and pharmacological investigation, leading to the discovery and development of natural drugs. Meanwhile, the findings of the education system for the younger generation about medicinal plants serve as a guide for the preservation of traditional knowledge. Thank you. It's all my presentation research, and see you next program.